Hindi nag hindi nag-work yung PowerPoint as usual. We're from iVolunteer. I'm Bel Padlan. My colleague here is JB Tan. So iVolunteer is our NGO that promotes volunteerism. This is just our part-time job. So meron kami full-time job in the corporate world. Pero this is our passion to promote volunteerism through technology. So one of our projects is a volunteer matching website. So sino ba nakapag-volunteer na dito? Hindi pa? Okay, good job. For the rest, bakit hindi kayo nag-volunteer? I bet kasi one of the reason is difficult to start, right? Hindi ba? Right? It's difficult to start, difficult to find where to go to. So that's the one key problem that we're trying to address. So if we give the right information, the right access to people who are interested to volunteer, na madali na sila maka-volunteer, it matches their interests and their skill sets, then it will be easier for them to start. So yun yung isa sa mga projects and programs namin. So we have iVolunteer.ph. It's a volunteer matching website. And thanks to the Ruby community, actually, our volunteers from Ruby actually created the website for us. Yeah, maybe we can show it later. Sige, James. Next. Ayan. So maybe just another background. We started this NGO because of the Ondoy. So 2009. We realized that maraming gustong tumulong, but they were turned away by the bigger relief operations. So if you go to ABS-CBN, GMA, DSWD, they were turned down kasi puno na ng tao. But you will hear reports that some smaller relief operation sites, they don't have the volunteers. So that triggered a thinking that one, a lot of people want to help. Secondly, they don't know where to help, right? Over time, the thinking has evolved not only on disaster response, but how can you make people volunteer on like normal days, right? So, so if you're the volunteer, the problem would be which organizations can I help? Ano yung mga volunteer opportunities? How do I get to know people? And then, is there a way that I get motivated to volunteer? And then sa NGO side naman, the problems that we're thinking about are how do I know who this volunteer is, diba? And then where can I get the volunteers, and then how can I simplify reporting or data mining ng mga volunteers in their events. So these are the problems that we try to solve. And this is the website. It's been done by one of the members of this community. I'm not sure if you know Christopher Rigor and his friends. So 4 years back, they had the time before they all got married. They had the time and volunteered to create this website for us for free. And then we launched it as a beta site. So we launched it even if hindi pa siya kompleto. By now we already have. Sige, next. Ayan. We already have 3,023 users. We have about 3,000 to 5,000 hits every month. We have 12,000 volunteer opportunities already posted. That translates to about 316 events. So if you notice that wall in Camp Aguinaldo na nag-paint, na mural, we were part of that. We tried to help them mobilize the needed volunteers para matapos yung mural painting. Last year also, MMDA wanted to reforest their landfill in San Mateo, and they needed 100,000 trees planted. So we helped them generate the volunteers for them. So may coastal cleanup and all that. Madami ng project so far yung iVolunteer. But where we need help is actually, unfortunately, ang hirap maghanap ng Ruby developers, even if you pay, right? So this website that has been done by our volunteers, sila Topher and friends. Kailan ba yung last release natin dito na major?
2012.
2012. And then since 2012, we have a lot of donors, we have a lot of people willing to help out financially, pero walang person willing to code. So we're now at the crossroads where parang nahihinder na yung growth nung product namin just because of the lack of talent that we find. Oo, so ang hirap. And we're very privileged to thank you for inviting us here para ma-share namin yung problems sa inyo. If you know anyone who was, kasi gusto namin, we're willing to pay. Of course, hindi karamihan yung pera namin, right? We're willing to pay for developers. If you also have the passion to for volunteer, kahit babayaran namin kayo, but we're also looking for people who have that intent desire to help. Kasi mas iba yung katrabaho namin na alam niya about, may alam siya about volunteerism or may desire siya about volunteerism, but still we're willing to pay, right? So iba pa rin yung parang nagbabayad lang kami to have the product developed. But if you know anyone or someone here has the passion to help out, and we're willing to pay for the development of the site. So nandun na kami sa problema namin if do we scratch this website and move to PHP instead? Very sad, and it's very parang wasteful of the resources that has been provided by our volunteers sila Topher and stuff. And it actually puts us at disadvantage on pursuing our other projects, right? Ang dami namin gustong plano in the future. So for example, in 2014, this year, we declared that we want to have a data platform or parang data warehouse of volunteer information. So what we found out is that volunteer matching, madaming gustong gumawa ng volunteer matching site. So if you talk to GK, gusto nila ng sarili nilang site. Red Cross will want their own site. Every big organization that we go to, gusto nila magkaroon ng sarili nilang site, which is good, which is fine, right? The intent naman of our volunteer matching was to help the smaller NGOs, yung mga naghihirap na makahanap ng volunteers nila. But what we envision is that if you centralize the data, then it will be much more powerful. Say for example, what's your name, sir? Nino? Inigo. Inigo wanted to volunteer sa iVolunteer. So meron kami 48 partners in there, nakapili siya na isa. And then tomorrow, Inigo decides, gusto ko mag-volunteer sa GK. And then the next day, mag-volunteer siya sa Red Cross. No one is tracking your volunteer history. That's very precious for an NGO like He Cares, a small NGO that we met last week. Very important for them to know who you are. Kasi they're very much hesitant to introduce a new person in without them knowing anong ginawa ng person na to previously. So, my pushback from the NGO na I don't want more volunteers kasi hindi trustworthy, hindi ko alam kung ano gagawin yan, pedophile ba yan or something. But that's true. That's a real concern. Hindi ko siya ginawa lang. So, if you centralize the data platform, marami kayong pwedeng gawin. One of the things that we want to do also is to make it a lifestyle thing, right? So for example, nag-volunteer ka Inigo for 5 hours today, next week, another 10 hours. Why don't you get points or stars for that, right? That you can exchange Starbucks coffee for. A simple reward for the job that you gave to the community. So madami kami pwedeng gawin with the data. And then there's also a renewed interest in the government to start their own volunteer desk. So, I can imagine only that each and every LGU, so si Pasig City Hall would put one, and then QC would put one, and then they will not talk. Like this systems of na i-build nila, they will not talk. But if we have this product ready, then we can offer it to them. In fact, we are really aggressively trying to build those discussions already with LGA. If those things can talk and we can share data across, then it will be powerful for the country to promote volunteerism. Ayan, so hindi kami makapag-start dyan sa project na yan because we have a lot of dreams for this volunteer matching site. And the only roadblock that we have for this one is Ruby Dev developer. Now in 2015, we want also to penetrate the mobile scene creative apps and all those things. So yun yung key help that why we're here today. And if you know anyone who's interested, I'll be leaving my card here. Ayan. Tapos we'll be happy to get in touch with that person.
Yeah, or we can say for a little bit
Yep, we
more.
can still.
So my questions here for us, we can address your concerns.
So salamat for letting us interrupt your break time.
There's a workshop next week, so I would suggest if you want to attend and teach yourself how to code.
Which workshop is this?
May workshop next week, UV workshop.
Okay. Sige.
There will be people there who will be learning to do. You might want to go there instead. That's right.
Okay. Sige. Any other burning question?
Question, sabi nyo parang, tawag mo rito, ang problem lang is lack of developers. So, is that lack of Ruby developers lang, or do you have gusto mag-volunteer na developer pero hindi Ruby, pero they have the capability of volunteering their skills to build similar app, similar systems?
Actually, we do have developers na non-Ruby. Yung challenge namin is we started with Ruby. So doon kami nahihirapan.
So yung developers nyo, do they have the technical capability to build
rebuild
from scratch?
Yes. So nandun na kami sa inflection point na do we want to rebuild or do we want to continue?
So we really don't want kasi very few resources yung group namin, right? And this was built by
So essentially yan nga, kulang yung resources nyo. Pag rebuild nyo yung developer resources
instead
nyo,
of investing it on new items, we're starting from scratch on something that's already existing.
ano na yung ginagawa ng developer resources nyo apart?
Wala kaming developer resources.
So yung lahat ng Ruby developers namin today have moved on.
Pero yung PHP developers nyo, ano yung ginagawa ngayon?
Naghihintay sila kung may direction.
So,
What's stopping them
from doing it?
Meetup, attending next week's workshop, and learning Ruby?
Ayun. Yung may mga tao talaga there focus more on PHP. Hindi naman namin sila mapipilit na...
And in fact, si Topher was, for 1 year, we opened it up na any developers who want to learn Ruby, Topher was very much willing to teach them and guide them. Maraming nag-start, okay, start tayo, and then magsa-schedule ng meetup, hindi magpapakita, another meetup, hindi magpapakita.
Yeah, going back to next week's workshop, so yun, may bayad dun. So, yeah, well, it filters people who don't want to attend or just want to go there for free. So, may commitment on the person. So, I would suggest that if, yung mga, since sabi niya marami kayong kilala, non-Ruby developers, they're so willing to learn or they're willing to help, then we know it's Ruby, then why not attend next week's lecture just to get started?
Yeah, we can check on that. But yun din, if eventually we will not go with Ruby,
Then
hindi na rin namin sila.
Hindi, okay lang naman. To be honest, mukha kaming anti-PHP pero officially hindi. We're actually fine with it. We're actually fine with it kasi ang ano naman kasi ng essentially Ruby community is more of pragmatism. So if sa inyo it might make more sense na you can make them do a mock-up kasi worst case scenario. I would suggest that they try to make a mock-up or start rebuilding it kasi I think ang problema nyo rito would be time eh.
Yeah.
So, kung ayaw talaga nilang matuto, I would suggest they just look at the database. There's no Ruby there. Or even just look at the website kung ano yung layout. Pero malamang re-renew nila yun kung gagawa sila ng bago. But, in our case, we should find some Ruby developers or mga baguhan na Ruby developers na gustong matuto ng Ruby and para lang try it out before they try it out sa professional environment. Say mga students, mga college students, third year, fourth year na nag-practice pa lang. They're a good target. Pero looking at it at the worst case, given na may PHP developers na kayo and you say na they have the technical capability of doing it, I would suggest talaga na yan, pagawan mo na sila ng mock-up or start doing it kasi yun nga, data platform eh.
Hindi ba separate yung data platform?
So separate naman yung
Iba
data.
pa, ibang project.
So pwedeng hindi na Ruby yun.
So yun,
Exactly.
Actually, that's what we're
Yeah.
thinking.
And
But,
yung mobile, hindi rin naman talaga Ruby yun.
They can actually go for the start with the data platform na rin. They just
Right.
need to make the, tignan lang nila yung data sa database or bukas ng API.
Right. So yun yung direction namin. But we're here to ask for help. If you know anyone for Ruby. Otherwise, yun nga, we'll be pragmatic about it. We just have to invest money, throw away whatever is existing that we have today. Masakit siya sa amin, and then for the people who work with us, but we've given it ilang years. 2 years. Actually, we've been to Ruby conferences like this for thrice.
Maybe.
And then, we've been actually spamming your groups already. So, pag tinignan niyo yung history. But we're giving it one last shot. And if you know anyone, we're looking, if money is the problem, of course, sana hindi naman siya twice or thrice more expensive than the PHPs of the world. Pero if money is a problem, we have a different solution for that, right? We can look for sponsorship and all that. Hindi kami mayaman, but yeah, we have to see which one is the better path for the group. Yeah. But not discounting anything, this beta site has already generated and brought us where we are today. So very much thankful for the community members that you have who volunteered for this.
If I may ask, ano mong nangyayari ba? May mag-volunteer na Ruby programmer and then mawawala? Or
Someone
no
will
one
even
shows up at all?
someone
we
will
do work kasi virtually, so we don't meet up.
Kaya so, do you
So,
have people who volunteer?
Meron na
and
talaga
then
nag-volunteer.
mawawala?
Siguro to make up that site, siguro
I mean,
mga 7 people have volunteered.
So-
Pero eventually they nag-change yung life stages.
yeah, I know. So you said you've been selling to meetups. So do people sign up from
Yes,
meetups?
they will commit. But pagdating
Then
na actual
after
work,
one email conversation, mawawala.
they would quote us hourly rates, tapos may isa pa nga na we were okay already with the rate, and then hindi na siya nagparamdam ulit. So yun, if only you know anyone, yun nga, wala namang sapilitan mag-Ruby, wala namang magsapilitan mag-PHP. But really, since konti lang yung resources namin, we want to keep this site. And out of respect and gratitude na rin sa mga gumawa ng site na to, we want to build on it.
So, open source naman yung site na yun, nasa GitHub
Yes.
naman yung site.
So if you have, let's say, okay, I have 4 hours today.
That's fine.
What can I do?
Yes. Meron kaming Redmine that we can just pick the requirements from there. Develop it, publish it sa GitHub. Then
I mean, maybe that's what you should be using to recruit people. I mean, you can start there. Sa halip na yan, where's that URL? Diba? When you spam, give that Redmine URL.
Okay.
Kasi, it's a big jump if I have to go from a non-volunteer to working full-time on this. But
okay.
if it's just, okay, can I check the Redmine?
No, but
Maybe
we're
I
not
have 4
even
hours to
looking
start
for
it.
volunteers actually. So we were already there na we're willing to pay. So I mean, volunteers are very much welcome, but
Lagyan na lang ng bounty. Parang, itong feature na to, ganito yung bounty. May ano na, pero, but then again, yun na, I think yung problem talaga dun sa advertising is more of, parang may konting barrier eh. Hindi alam ng mga tao na prospective na it's that open na, okay, dito yung mga kailangan natin gawin na features, parang, tinatamba daw, isang Sabado, hindi kami magiinuman. Sige, check ko na lang yung Redmine kung meron akong magawang bug. Mga ganong klase. If you make it na ma-advertise yun na ganun lang kadali mag-volunteer to contribute
although one problem of that is, I mean, so previously Topher was there, and he can parang oversee and manage. But now we don't have that person. So if we let anyone jump in, put their code in, wala kaming someone like Topher to.
So yun lang.
Diba? So
You have that
parang-
problem, whether it's PHP, Ruby, or C++, or whatever.
No, but the advantage with other languages is mas malaki yung pool. pool, as in the pool of people, right?
Pero yung quality.
Yun nga.
Yun nga, the larger the pool, syempre, 90% is always.
Hindi natukoy niya yata yung malice.
Solid.
Like, if you're concerned that some people might introduce bad,
It's not malice. It's more of, okay, you put in something there.
baka may bug.
Sinong nakakaalam sa grupo namin on what it is? Kasi if I go for a paid developer na dedicated for 6 months, they will develop
May
this.
accountability kasi.
Exactly, and then we can ask him to train us about it or put some parang basic documentation about it such that after matapos yung project we can hand it over to another paid developer or a volunteer. Now, if we open it up to a community, say someone like Sir will just come in for hours, tapos no one is governing or looking at it from our side, yun din yung medyo difficulty namin kasi ayun, hindi lang kasi itong products na to yung services that we offer. So ideally we want parang may commitment din somehow, right? And we understand na medyo mahirap yung big leap, but okay.
Okay. So yun, sige, may question ba?
Alright. Thank you very much for the time.
So yun, if just let us know or you can email us at contactus@ivolunteer.ph.
Yep. Salamat for having us over.
Okay, thank you.
you.